And the professor, Prof. Kamara, he actually has left the lecture room and is here with us. So when we get the message, just take it to the people and tell them this is what Statistics Sierra Leone got. If there are any doubts about it, our system is open to audit. It is. You come and check. If you're not pleased with the server, you can go to the field. Thank you very much, and you're welcome.
Thank you very much, Chairman Moses Williams. We call him Molojo. Because we had started a bit late, we want to see how we can run through the program. Next up, to come and tell us the process that we embarked on for the census, I want to call on somebody who is an academic. He served as head of department, the lecturer at the Fabric College Economics Department for the better part of 10 years. He is somebody that is responsible for overseeing the first digital census in Sierra Leone. In fact, he already has consultancies lined up, waiting, because Sierra Leone is one of the first countries in West Africa to have conducted a full-blown digital census. Nigeria is juggling with it already. Liberia is also on the verge, but we are already here. So I'm pretty sure he'll be having quite a good number of cash, in his account from international consultancies that might be coming through. Ladies and gentlemen, I want to introduce at this juncture the Director of National of the Census and Geographic Information Systems, and also is the National Census Coordinator, Mr. Abdullahi Salia Brahma, to tell us the process. He was the man that was in charge when it came to the census. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Mr. Ansumara, and good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. I want to join our council chairman to welcome you here. And my presence here this afternoon is pretty unlikely. And I joined Statistics Sierra Leone some 3 to 4 years ago. And when I was appointed as the National Census Coordinator, a lot of skepticism as to whether I can pull off a national exercise like this. I really want to thank God that I spearheaded the process, and with the support of our technical teams at StatSL, we are where we are today. And we have explained the process activities actually embedded in the census conduct severally to many people. I will just briefly take you through exactly what happened or what we went through. In July 2020, His Excellency, the President of this country, retired Brigadier Julius Maada Bio, proclaimed that we conduct the first digital and midterm population and housing census. So he gave the responsibility to Statistics Sierra Leone to conduct the census, because we have the technical capability to actually undertake a process like that. So we braced up immediately. Announcement by His Excellency, you have to brace up. So we braced up immediately. We formed a secretariat committee here comprising of all directors, and as we sit here, we have the director of data science, Mr. Theophilus Blockfirst. You want to put your hand up so people see you? And before he became the World Bank Project Coordinator, Mr. Bangurawidia was the Director of Operations. Next to Mr. Bangurawi, we have Dr. Koji, who is currently the Director of Operations. We have Director Tommy, who is in charge of a national account system at Statistics Sierra Leone. Yes. Somebody who has the institutional knowledge, Director Jabi, is the Director of Demographic and Social Statistics. So we are all here. We are part of the technical committee. The secretariat will form a secretariat also including some other technical and staff of StartSL. We meet every day, we deliberate, we see how we can all direct the process. In addition to the secretariat and secretariat, we also formed other technical committees, one of which was the technical committee, a national technical committee. We actually drew people from other technical institutions that we think they can actually give some relevance to the process, including the University of Sierra Leone. So Professor Kamara here is one of the technical committee. They are giving us the backstopping. And we also had the National Publicities Committee comprising of all media houses here in Sierra Leone. We tell them what we have done. They popularize whatever stage we are in the census. Also, we had an advisory committee, which was an umbrella committee, which comprises of all political parties. So whatever we deliberate on at the secretariat, whatever direction we want to take, we discuss first at technical committee. After the technical committee had made their input into it, then we take it to the advisory committee to give us the go-ahead to undertake it. So all political parties were actually involved in the process. What do we do next? We engage international partners, because census nowadays is not just a domestic process. You have to involve international partners, countries that have actually done censuses and have the experience that they can share with you. So we contacted, the World Bank was part of us, so the World Bank was part of those international organizations that we met. All UN and family here, they were all involved, UNICEF, UNFPA. Of course, UNFPA, their core mandate actually is to look over population issues in any country that they are established in. We are also working together with UNICEF, and because they are interested in some of the modules that we actually search for during the census. So UNICEF was with us. We also contacted the Mano River Union. They also gave us a lot of assistance, and as an international partner. In addition to international partners, we also developed this South-South collaboration. We sought out institutions that have, statistical institutions within Africa that have just conducted digital censuses to see how they can send consultants to us and also share experiences with us. One of which was the KNBS, the Kenya Statistical Bureau. They were part of this process. In fact, the 20,000 tablets and power banks that we used for the data collection actually came from KNBS. The Ghana Statistical Service was also involved in this process from inception up to the point we are today. In fact, and we actually got consultants from Ghana to help us develop the computer-assisted personal interview application. They were part of us. We also contacted Malawi, because Malawi is one of the first African countries that had actually done a full-blown digital census, from cartography to census data collection. So the Malawians were also part of this team. They shared experience with us. They peer review some of the processes that we went through. In addition to international and our statistical institutions in Africa, we also quickly engage our local partners. The National Elections Watch was part of this process. They came, we held meetings, they made an input into the process. We also engaged IGR. IGR was also part of this process. We engaged civil society groups across this country. Then there is a committee in Parliament they call Committee on Population and Development. They were also part of this process. So that's what we did at the both international and local level. What did we do next? We tried to develop a project document, because a very big project like this, you can't pull it off without having a direction. So we developed a project document. That project document was the guiding document. We developed that document in consultation with our international and local partners. So the project document was there. Administratively, that was what we went through for the process. Technically, before you get to the field as a technical step, you have to do what we refer to as locality verification. What that means is, during the 2015 census, they actually recorded and gave geocoding to all localities in this country, towns and villages if you like. They did that in 2015. So we sat in our office there. I'm the Director of Censuses and Geographic Information System. First, we audited the process on a desktop, and later we went to the field involving all stakeholders at the locality level, paramount chiefs, chiefdom speakers, you name them, they were all involved into it. So we did a locality verification. We tried to find out how many new localities have actually come up after the 2015 census and how many have been deserted. So we got a marginal increase from the 2015 census of about 0.6% from 2015 census. So we did a locality verification. So the locality verification was the benchmark to allow us to do mapping, where technically, less technically, what mapping means is that we actually went to the field now to ensure that we divide this country into enumeration areas. Enumeration areas means small portions. You divide the country into very small, manageable portions, so that at the end of the day, when we get to the household, we know the total number of households each enumerator is supposed to cover. So we did that mapping. And after the mapping process, we developed the application now for data collection. The application means we have to develop the computer-assisted personal interview. This thing was, the interview was done through tablet. It was no longer paper-based and interview. We migrated from paper-based to digital technology. So we developed that with the help of our international and local statistics, local experts here. So when we developed the application, we know the process is you have to collect data from a field and sync with the server at HQ. So with the support of the World Bank, I want to let you know that we have in Africa one of the most sophisticated servers you could think of. We have about 4 or 6 servers here at Start Excel. So we developed that. So when data collectors actually get to the field, they collect data, they sync directly to our server. And we provided very good securities for those servers. I want to tell you that we actually got millions of people trying to attack our server during the census. But fortunately, because we put in place a robust mechanism, the server didn't break down. So we did that. We did the mapping, we developed our servers, we demarcated the EAs. We now call the Malayan ones to come and help us to see how they can validate the mapping and results. So they came, we validated the localities, we coded the EA codes, the EAs. We also grouped the EAs into essays and coded them. And one of the main reasons why we conducted the 2021 midterm census is that with the 2015 census, it was almost impossible. It was impossible to disaggregate the national data at locality level because of lack of coding. So for this census, I want to tell you that we have coded all localities in this country. I thought you were going to clap for that. And so what we did after locality, so after the coding the localities, we now did the pilot census. You want to get to the field, you need to pre-test your instruments. You also need to pre-test the administrative setup. You also need to test the field plan. So we did a pilot census. Out of the enumeration areas that we got over 23,000, we took 1% of that 23,000 and selected EAs scientifically. We did not just say we want to select EAs. We selected EAs scientifically across the country. We selected from mountain areas. We selected from border crossing areas. We selected from nomadic population, moving population, and we did a pilot census. We faced some challenges after the pilot census, and we addressed those challenges. One of which was we found out that during the pilot census, there wasn't the documents didn't clearly state the organogram of reporting in the field. So what we did was, after the pilot census, we organized a 3 days workshop at Family Kingdom, we went through all the challenges that we did because our CAPI consultant was with us here. So we rectify all the challenges we faced during the pilot census before pulling off the main census. We pull off the main census based on the information that we got from the pilot census. The idea was we trained and sent enumerators in the field. They collected data. We had supervisors. They sent their data through supervisors. And for each district, we actually set up data quality management teams. So these data quality management teams, we are given the opportunity to access some of the information or access all the data sent to the server, and they review, they are validating, they review. If they find out problems with the data, they will contact the field workers to see how they can rectify it. So we put a robust mechanism in place because the objective of the census was for us to generate a credible housing and population census in between 2015 and 2025. I want to thank you very much for listening to me.
Thank you very much. When academics or lecturers speak, they think they are in the classroom. So it was trying to just bamboozle us with all of the terminologies. You could have just told us that you went to the field and collected data about all of these enumeration areas and geospatial, it's anyways, yes, okay, thank you very much, Director Abdullah Brahima. We want to move to the next item on the agenda, but before that, I want to recognize a few people that we have that have joined us, that really helped us a lot during the course of the census. I want to recognize the presence of Mr. Kalilu Tutange. He is the chairman of NASED. Can we give him a round of applause? He's here seated. NASED's role in the census is something which we very much appreciate. Yes, so you can come to the front. He says he's comfortable there. He says he's comfortable seated there. Okay, so I was just saying that NASA during the census were one of the organizations that really helped us, especially during the time that we had an avalanche of refusals or rejections from the populace. They did a considerable amount of engagement with the traditional leaders, the paramount chiefs, all of the civil society people, and they were able to actually soften the ground for us. And what that led to was we now had a situation where the people that we were rejecting were now calling us, and that is why we have that extension for the mopping up and also the winding down, just to ensure that all of those people that we are calling to be counted, we had to go to count them. So we want to thank them very much for their contribution. We also want to thank, William Saul Lamin, and from the Accountability Now CSO, they too were very instrumental. We also have Andrew Lavalley from IGR. Is Andrew here? Andrew was around. Andrew might have gone, but Andrew was there, and they were also very instrumental during the census. Okay, let me come back home. My director was struggling to actually call my colleagues, but I need to recognize officially these of my colleagues, people that gave their all. It was blood, sweat, and tears to ensure that we had a successful census. One person that everybody is pleased with his work that he did here is Theophilus Bloodforce, the director of data science. Can you rise up so they get to see you? You have to rise up. All right? This man was a person that was behind the technology for the census. He worked with a lot of consultants, but on the Sierra end, he was the man that was in charge, and he successfully ensured we were able to reach where we are now for the census. We also have the Director of Operations in the person of Dr. Mohamed Patrick Moiro Koji. He was somebody that was responsible for all of the field deployments. We want to thank him also. We have the project coordinator. By the way, The midterm census was funded under the Harmonizing and Improving Statistics in West Africa project. It's a 5-year project funded by the World Bank. Now, they have a project implementation team that is resident here in Sierra Leone and is headed by somebody that was our Director of Operations in the person of Mr. Albert Bangrawil. Can you stand up? They are the ones funding the census. Thank you very much. And we have the Director of the National Statistical Systems Division in the person of Mr. Francis Tommy. Is somebody that does almost all of the engagement with the universities and ensures that we have a hub to actually host statistics. And we have somebody that is also a very experienced hand when it comes to statistics and also management. He says he's a management scientist. And he's Director of Demographic Health and Social Statistics. Sonia Magba Bubake Jabi is here. I also have to acknowledge somebody that has been very critical throughout this entire process. He was the go-to man. You know, when Brimer is clogged with a lot of things to do, he turns to this man. You know, he's like the on-grounds man, the man that is going to do the implementation of whatever ideas is passed down. He's the census program manager. He deserves a round of applause, Mr. James Meadow. And we have also seated at the front row members of council. We have Mr. Prince Kote. He is a member of the council for the Western region. He is somebody that has been very instrumental. Can you raise your hand so they get to see you? We also have Mr. Daniel Kindana, who is also a member of the council. He was a member of the council for the Southern region. Can you raise your hand so they get to see you? And we also, he's the field marshal. Yes, he's the field marshal. And we also have Mrs. Ebutoli. Mrs. Ebutoli is our manager for monitoring and evaluation. And you can imagine when you're doing an activity that is as huge and Herculean as a census, you have to have stringent M&E procedures in place. And she ensured that we had a successful census and all of the processes were monitored through and through. Thank you very much, Mrs. Yebutoli. Okay, so we have to move. We have to move. Do we have Silaba here? Is Sila here? Okay, Sila, I think you have to stand up. You know, when they say cartographic mapping, you have somebody who is a cartographic consultant in-house, and that is Silaba. He is the head of cartography. Everything that occurred during the cartographic sensor, the cartographic mapping, he was working directly with the consultants. Thank you very much for a job well done. And of course, I want to thank all of the staff, all statisticians that are working for Statistics Sierra Leone. People had to go extra mile to ensure we pull off this census. All right, and we want to thank them for all of the contributions that they have made, from the managers, the directors, the statisticians, senior statisticians, down to the cleaners, all right, the people that are the administrative staff. We want to thank all of them for a job well done to ensure that we got a very successful census. A round of applause for the staff of Statistics Sierra Leone, council, management, and staff. All right, so having said that, I think that's the longest statement I'm going to make, or I've already made. I'm not going to say much again. I want to call on somebody. When you talk about experience, you know, you have people normally say, you should have consultants coming, you should have people that are foreigners, you should do international benchmark. But when you have a dossier seated in-house, somebody that has overseen or that was here when we had almost 3 censuses running, somebody that has worked here for 29 years and counting, that's a whole lifetime of a lot of people. That's a lifetime of my younger brother. 29 years, you could imagine. He's worked here, he's dedicated his life to this institution. He is the Deputy Chief Census Officer. He is a Deputy Statistician General. Before becoming Deputy Statistician General, he was Director for Censuses and Geographic Information Systems for a period of 15 years. Ladies and gentlemen, the next person that is going to talk on the role that international partners and consultants have played and that is going to give us a very succinct statement is the director of the directors, there's a reason why I say that. All the directors at Statistics will report to this director, that is the Deputy Statistician General. Ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Andrew Bob Johnny.
Thank you so much, Mr. Moderator. With all due respect to members of the High Table, ladies and gentlemen, it's an honor for me to speak on this auspicious occasion. I'm extremely proud and delighted to be part of this. The National Population and Housing Census is the largest data collection any country can conduct of its populace and housing units within a given geographic boundary that's clearly defined and in a specific point in time. Therefore, it's serious business. It collects an array of indicators of all living persons, ranging from health, education, agriculture, mortality, you name it. A reason why it's pretty expensive, involves a lot of human resource, and also time as a factor. As a reason, it has to encompass a whole lot of people. Yesterday, we had the technical and advisory meeting, and I told them the population and housing census, especially this of our Mama Saloon, has not been a secret society where we are cocooned in a shell and all the operations we do are just but limited to very few persons, perhaps male and just female. No, that's not the case at all. I've spanned through 3 censuses, 2004, 2015, and this midterm census, population and housing census. There's a wide range of experience, and one which I'm proud and delighted to add a lot of value to. I'm extremely delighted, comparatively, for this particular census because, in my opinion, and in the presence of God, I can tell you with the experience, it has been the best census. Can we clap for that? Because, in the first place, I observed a lot of inputs in this, and for the single factor that's digital. And for the very first time in the history of this country, we are collecting electronic data for census. We have been collecting for other interventions, demographic and health survey, multiple indicator cluster survey, living standard survey, you name them. But when you're doing this for over 15,000 field staff, that's then very serious business, ladies and gentlemen. And remember, these indicators are not only going to help us at the national level, they have to be compared. It has to be done in comparative analysis. And the reason why you have to involve people at the global level, call the consultants, let them come and be part of this process. One, for the experience, and for accreditation. And this of our census did just that. Starting right from the cartographic mapping, which is the inception of your entire process, we had a consultant from a country, border country, Nigeria, who came here, fielded in by the World Bank, paid exclusively by the World Bank. He was here and brought a new phenomenon about the EA part, for which my director was actually telling you about, which is a new phenomenon in collecting data against what we did using the global positioning system, or the GAMIN. This was quite precise. And the reason why we are here today in record time of just about 2 months after data collection to give you the results, other than what's happened in previous censuses in the decades, where it took not less than 1 year to give you results. That's a novelty. That's a novelty, and that's great. For this country, I think it's a very big milestone we have set. Thank you for your applause. This gentleman, Adebayo, came and actually built a lot of capacity at StartSL. Over 15 or even 16,000 staff who could be proud of using the digital system now of innovative technology to collect data over an array of a lot of indicators. We should be proud of that. And of course, one of the main objectives of these census was to actually capacitate our staff. So in the future, we have these guys actually in the data bank who we can just call over to come and pick up things and just have a ride going forward. That's for the cartographic mapping as one of the interventions. Of course, thereafter, we had to validate the cartographic process. He has already defined what cartographic mapping is about. Delineating the entire land space of Sierra Leone into small bits of administrative units for interventions. You just can't go solo on this. So we had the Malawians, who are colleagues as well, expertise in cartography. We have done our field work in cartography. Come and check, come and validate. The World Bank paid for that again. They came over in their numbers. We are here for a period of over a month. They checked our cartographic data and validated it. That was quite fine. Then we went forward. The pilot census. Before you engage in a mass array of indicators you want to collect in the field in excess of over 20,000, you have to test the instrument. The pilot census was well conducted. It was properly conducted, and for that again, we had a fielded staff from ECA who came and actually looked at the whole process and validated it. It's on our website for your reference if you want to see it. It's there. That's hard international intervention as well. Then, of course, you may want to know that the entire process was driven on a platform of ICT, 100%. And the reason why we had interventions on the computer-assisted personal interview consultant. My director, Theophilus here, is an IT guru. There's nothing he cannot do in terms of wizardry when it comes to IT. But experience matters. He could not have alone, because with all due respect to him, he hadn't gone through the process. We therefore had a CAPI consultant called Kwamina, a Ghanaian as well. Remember, Ghana just did their census and announced the results. So all that experience and value was brought to this country. We had a consultant as well who came and actually designed the process in terms of what the platform should be, the ICT, the servers and everything. He was here and paid again by the World Bank. The World Bank has been a partner, true and true. But you know, there are times when you run a lot, you can get tired and you don't want to rest. But they have been with us, and they are right here now, in fact, in representation of my project coordinator seated right here. They are right with us. We had these CAPI consultants who came and did the finesse for us in terms of what we really need. Can you imagine having a digital census for the very first time? I can tell you, myself and my boss, the chairman, and everyone here have been sweating. It has not been easy, but we made it. We can. And we did. We did made it. And I'm so proud we're here today. The CAPI consultants was here, and we did a lot. Doing a census of this dimension requires huge logistical dimensions. Then we had logistical consultants, again, from the Economic Commission of Africa, who came here in the name of Mr. Jabi. Can you show me one of the people that came? You should know better. Elino. Yes. Elino was here, and there was another consultant called Mukulu. They were all here. They signed on a logistical agreement for this entire process. And it was fine. It was quite good. For the publicity, of course, we have our brothers here. Sao is here. There are other people. I have my dynamic director out there. They did quite a lot of noise. We made a lot of noise about this thing. There were challenges, huge challenges of wide dimension, including assaults, insults, you name it. But we sailed through. We did, because we stood firm. We did. So the intervention of these international and local consultants have been extremely meaningful and valuable. Remember, we have the Sustainable Development Goals, and we have the Medium-Term National Development Plan, which is a local platform for our interventions. You have to compare these indicators. When you feed into this global platform like the SDG, or the local one and other national interventions, they have to be compared. And except, and unless we have international accreditation of this thing, it's going to be tough for us. That's why we have today UNICEF, we have UNFPA, a whole lot of people with us here to make sure our data is fine. It's been a very long journey from Freetown to Kuala Lumpur on a Boeing 747 with all staff on board. The longest journey you can ever go through, spanning in this world. We went through that, and he's about engaging the landing gear. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen.
What a way to end. It's about engaging the landing gear. You know, that's the most critical part. For those people that have traveled, they'll tell you the takeoff and the landing is the most difficult part in the whole flight business, you know, so it's the most critical part. Anyways, we'll come to that. Thank you very much once again, DSG. So what we want to do next, we want to get a few statements, brief statements from partners that are here. First up, we want to hear from our Development Secretary. By the way, Statistics Sierra Leone is a semi-autonomous body that is supervised by the Ministry of Planning and Economic Development, okay? So we have in our midst here today, the Supervisory Ministry, the administrative head of the Supervisory Ministry in the person of Mr. Peterson Pakra to come and make a brief statement. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Mr. Moderator, Mr. Chairman, and Statistics Council, the SG, all protocol observed. As you are all aware, for 11 years, almost 11 years, the Ministry of Finance and Planning, we are going together as one ministry. You know what? When you join finance and planning, it's the finance people we're talking about. The planning is relegated to the second tier. So it was good when this administrator came to separate these two ministries. So we are separated in April 2018. Then we came to National Authorizing Office. One of the first tasks we embarked on as Minister of Planning and Economic Development is to develop the Middle-Term National Development Plan 2019-2023. There's no way as Minister of Planning and Economic Development we can plan for this country if we don't have data. Not only data for data's sake, but data you can rely on, data that is very, very true, data you can quote the source, not only quoting the source, but where the source is available and you can quote anywhere and get the source. And that's what we are yearning for. So if you look at cluster 8.7 of the Middle-Term National Plan, we to strengthen the national statistical system. We are very, very much aware of that, and we deal with that. Very committed to that. So when we are developing the National Development Plan, that was one of the major focus of our attention. So it was not surprising, and luckily for us, the leadership of the Statistics Council approached us in December 2018 of that same year. At that time, wanted to just complete the actual plan. They said they have problems with the 2015 figures, the population figures. Yeah, they have problems. So it was me that actually wrote a memorandum to the Secretary to the President, highlighting all the problems Statistics Council have with the 2015 figures, and that there's need that we should do a census, a midterm census. And believe in me, we supported it with the former minister, Nabila Tunis, who was my minister. And luckily, that we came again with the present minister, Francis Kaikai, very vibrant man. It bought the idea and was behind it. Today, if anybody is happy for what we are coming to do here, it's me. Because now I can proudly know that we have reliable data. Data that is not being formulated by people that can get paper. That's what I've taken part in census when I was a student. Some people can go around the corner and fill in the questionnaire. But this computer-assisted interview we have, there's no way you can sit anywhere in the corner and formulate the figures. So we are here to hear from the Statistics Council those figures. Those figures are not being generated from the head. Those figures are real-time figures. So these are figures you can rely on. These are figures you can quote anywhere. These are figures at Ministry of Planning. I know that I want to get a population figure from Mongere, my hometown. I will get it. If I want to get population figure in Sierra Leone, in Freetonia, I will get it. And that is reliable. Let me tell you something. I took part when the census actually was. Not took part, but just kind of supervised. I went to my hometown. I met the census officers. I look at the tablet. There's no way they can fidget that computer to just put in figures. I interviewed one of the 2, 3, 5 enumerators. In fact, when you enter any town, any vicinity, you have the mapping right on the computer. So you have all the houses in that village or in that town. So there's no way you can go to. If you want to get another house that was not actually in that vicinity, there's a way you can do it. But believe me, these people went from house to house, counting the people. So I'm very, very lucky as the development secretary. Now I can rely on all the data that is coming to be announced here. I can say with certainty, these are genuine figures. These are not figures formulated from the head. With this just brief statement, let me thank you all for inviting us here. Sincerely thank you. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Mr. Peter Sampakra, the Development Secretary from the Ministry of Planning and Economic Development. Next, we want to hear from, during this process, we have civil society through and through. I want to call on William Saul Amin, who is a representative from the CSOs, to come and make a brief statement. A round of applause for him, please. Thank you.
All protocols observed. Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. I'm going to be very, very brief because we've done all the work. So we now need to present to Sierra Leoneans and our donor partners. So we don't need much talking. We want to see people actually getting the results. I know so many of us are now anxious to get the results. I'm sure at night, the head of statistics will wake up at night and say, oh, I'm sure Sierra Leoneans are now focusing on me to ensure that the result is out. As civil society, the midterm population and housing census 2001 has been key in our activities. This is because it has hung on the attainment of government development agenda and the UN Sustainable Development Goals. Therefore, we did not wait to be called, but we presented ourselves as civil society to participate in the process through our key mandate of observation. We did not wait. We know it's our business. We are Sierra Leoneans. So we jump into this office. We are sure that we observe we observe and participated in some of the under-mentioned process as required by law. 1, cartographic mapping, we observe it. Recruitment and training of field staffs in Freetown and the district. The enumeration of or collection of data and household in hard-to-reach communities in Kwenadugu, Kailaun, Kono, Karine. We are there to ensure that we verify whether the field staffs actually went to those communities. So we move across the country with our CSO team. We engage the leadership of Statistics Sierra Leone right through the process from the one when the announcement was made of
midterm population census. Media and community sensitization throughout the process. We are in all the radios and televisions, linking with newspapers, having community meetings to ensure that people actually get the information. As civil society, we are calling on citizens that the work done by Statistics Sierra Leone is in the interest of every Sierra Leonean. We are therefore appealing to our politicians. I will repeat, we are therefore appealing to our politicians to kindly appreciate the technical work that has been done by the institution for the benefit of all. We, civil society, believe that any development activity should be informed by a credible and reliable data that will help to hold duty bearers accountable if there are any defaults. We are appealing to all development partners, ministries, departments, and agencies to always call on Statistics Sierra Leone for reliable data of any development activity they may want to carry out in any of our communities. Census data is used by every development individual or institutions. With this, I want to appeal to everyone to kindly welcome this census result in good faith and use it for development programs in our communities and the country at large. As civil society, we still remain committed to engage and sensitize our communities as our own contribution, even after the pronouncement of the provisional result, to ensure that Sierra Leoneans own a document as their property. As civil society, we've been all over the place. But sometimes we do our own things in our own way because the management of statistics may want to stop us. Within this process, we got some social media communication. We also got it on television that the World Bank is going to be out of this census, and even their technical support, they are going to withdraw. We are so frustrated looking at the effort all of us have made, our time and energy putting into this thing, and they have put so much money into the entire process, and few days to the census, World Bank is saying we are going to kick back and even stop our technical support. So some of us, we are not happy. I will tell them sorry today because we are hastening to organize a protest. We went to the World Bank office, even asking the World Bank representative to resign. Because it was really, really painful to hear a few days to the actual census activities. And then the key partner is saying, we are going to back out. So we are really, really angry with that. And we took that decision without consulting Statistics Sierra Leone. I will end by appreciating the Chief Census Officer and his team of professional staff for the good work they have done within record time and making us proud to be among countries that have done digital census during this difficult time in the world, and to also ensure that all issues dealing with outstanding payments to field staff be resolved. I want to thank you very much.
Thank you very much, William Saul Amin, from the civil society. Okay, so we want to run through two more statements. One, we want to hear from the Chief of Evidence Policy and Social Protection at UNICEF in the person of Mona Coast Guard. Can we give a round of applause for Mona from UNICEF?
Thank you very much, moderator. Members of the High Table, ladies and gentlemen, it gives me great pleasure to be here today at the announcement of the provisional results from the midterm population and housing census. Firstly, I would like to express my sincere congratulations to StatSSL and the government of Sierra Leone on having successfully completed the census. I would also like to congratulate StatsSL on having for the first time completed a digital census with the use of tablets, which has enabled a speedier turnaround of data processing as well as quality assurance, as we have already heard. And the census has also created a new sampling frame for social surveys to be used for surveys such as the multiple indicator cluster survey mix. For UNICEF, of course, we do take a special interest in data on the situation of children, as we know that having accurate data is of crucial importance for fulfilling children's rights. We know that Sierra Leone has a young population, and we know that children and adolescents face many challenges. The census will tell us how many children live in the country, where they live, what challenges they face, whether they live with their parents, whether they have migrated, and so on. It will be important for all of us to use the census data for policy making, for planning and programming to better reach the population with social services such as health, education, and sustainable jobs for young people who enter the labor market. The census data will also give us crucial information about the lives of persons with disabilities in the country. We know that Sierra Leone has been very active in reporting on its progress against reaching its targets under the Sustainable Development Goals. It has, however, been challenging to accurately report on the situation of persons with disabilities and to what extent the country is actually reaching SDG targets related to persons with disabilities. And we do hope
You know say plenty people no get for vote the time for election. Not because they no want for vote, but now because of this simple mistake where I can't tell you what so, now I go make plenty people no vote. Right now, as the Electoral Commission Salon don't pull the date for vote and for register, plenty people just the yagba and they rush go do things them as then they tell them for do. But hey, members say registration, the voter registration, they begin from the 3rd of September to the 4th of October 2022. Then a number 1 step we go give you guarantee say you go vote. But if you make mistake during this time, you no go for vote. And I think this way person no go able for help you pan. What in this mean? It means say no ever register na the area where you dey work, do business, or where you dey go school. You know what it make? You don't know. Sometimes the time for the election, then go say public transport not for run. This na big challenge for you. Remember, if you tap na Kalbaton and then you dey walk na Lomley, how you go able for go and vote na that side? You go able for waka? The answer na no. So, no make that mistake there. As them blow the whistle when they say, hey, today na the 3rd of September for begin the voter registration. Do ya try by all possible means for register na the center where they near you house. So the day when they go say for voting, whether Mutuka deal, Mutuka not deal, not to your business. You dey go serve na morning, vote, return back na your house. So you see, if you make this mistake, the possible
director. Okay. Then in 2018 he was appointed. He came back to Sierra Leone as the statistician general. He is a man of many portfolios. Currently, he is the vice chairman of the United Nations Statistical Commission. You have to clap for that. It's the first time Sierra Leone is rising to that height. You have to clap for that. He also, during the period when he was there, he went to Jala at some point. We had to loan him. We loaned him for some time to Jala University. He went there, he served as acting vice chancellor and principal, and by the time he came from there, people were like, wow, we should probably have him permanently there. And we said, no, we want him back. That was just a loan. When the loan ends, the man comes back. So he came back to Statistics after serving as acting vice chancellor and principal. Currently, he's also a visiting professor in global health at the Institute of Global Health, University of Heidelberg. I have to pronounce that very well, Heidelberg. In Germany, Heidelberg. And when he tells us that he was a visiting professor, he has the way he pronounces the accent, Heidelberg. And we have Jabi, Jabi is somebody that also wraps his tongue around when he speaks, so Jabi will be looking at him like this. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, he is also a honorable professor of biostatistics and epidemiology at the University of Witwatersrand, Johannesburg, South Africa. All right? And is currently also serving as a member, as an advisor on the Scientific and Technical Advisory Group on Emergencies that was created or formed by His Excellency the President when we had the scourge of Corona COVID-19 that started in 2020. We want to land. I don't want to be in the fight for too long because I'll continue, but I think I will go on and I'll not finish. So I have to calm down. Let us land. Ladies and gentlemen, we are about to witness history as the Statistician General of Statistics Sierra Leone, who is also the CEO and Chief Census Officer, the only person by law that has a legitimate right to announce formally the census results, Professor Usman Bongoloji Sankor, to take the high table, otherwise known as Malamo, and give us a statement on the conduct of the 2021 midterm population and housing census, and at the same time give us, as we land, the results bongoistically. A round of applause as we call on Professor Sankor Malamo.
The bongo man is going to talk, but let me give you a short interpretation of our Statistics Acts. We have two of them. We have the Statistics Act of 2002 that has the entire guide for us for this institution. But then we also have the Census Act, again, of 2002. These are two separate documents. The leadership of the two are different. The Statistics Act actually goes my own way. The council, I think that we get the power there. Yanda will go bluff. But the Census Act, if we want to do something there, I think we need to consult somebody. Because the leadership of that goes to the chief census officer. He is the man in charge. He will tell us what the population of this country is. I don't have the power. Even as chairman of council, I don't have that power. It is the chief census officer. So he is not just going to talk because he wants to talk. He has been empowered by the 2002 Census Act. Look for one, for that man there. Let him look at it and send it to the BBC. I thank you.
Since I have it, I wish you had somewhere for me to put this thing, but then I'll just...
All right, okay. So you wanted to...
No, if I had this...
Okay, like a lectern. Like a lectern.
So I could sit down.
Okay.
And whatever.
Sit down.
Okay. Thank you very much for that introduction. But the guy failed to actually mention the most important thing about me. No, well, not the COR. Is that it's the Warima bit of it, you know? Yeah. You know, as I'm a village boy, you know, I think that is very important. You shouldn't leave that out when you're introducing me. Okay. Well, it's a long list of institutions and people that I need to mention, but formally we need to say the chairman. Although he says when it's about the census, I am possibly his boss, but no. This young man, you're a great man. The chairman and members of the council who are here, we are expecting the chairman and members of the parliamentary subcommittee on development, planning and economic development. I was not going to forget that group because they always would call us to parliament. We always had these letters that came to us. You are summoned to this, and I would always make it possible for me to be there to explain to them what we were doing. The Development Secretary, the Ministry of Planning and Economic Development, we have our Deputy Minister of Information and Communications. We have members from the Consular and Diplomatic Corps. We have our development partners, the civil society organizations. We have ministries, departments, and agencies present here. We have partners from the universities. We're pleased to have you with us. Religious, ethnic group, and traditional leaders, the security forces, management and staff of StartSL. I have, of course, my colleagues. I was a journalist, so I would not forget you, the media. Ladies and gentlemen, good afternoon. It's really an honor for me and a blessing to be able to speak to you today as the Chief Census Officer for the digital 2021 midterm population housing census. Chairman of this auspicious occasion, please permit me to change the way people start such statements. I would really start with acknowledgements, and you'll soon see why. We would like the public to value the significant contributions made by specific people and institutions to the overall process of the first ever digital census in this country. But first, let me thank God who has made this possible for us to be here today to witness this event. And next, I would want to thank His Excellency the President of the Republic of Sierra Leone, Dr. Julius Maada Bio, who demonstrated leadership and who really also demonstrated confidence in my team. And when the World Bank decided to really stop funding the activity, the President approved that the government should continue to finance the activities. Thank you, Mr. President. In addition to that, we wanted to save the government from spending lots of money from buying the tablets, 20,000 tablets and 20,000 power banks. One would cost, let's say, 1 million leones, and just multiply by 20,000 and multiply by, let's say, 40,000. That's a lot of money. When I was in the UN, and I had spoken to my colleague in Kenya, and so he had promised to give us these tablets on loan. But then there was this COVID, and then there were different other issues in Nairobi that made things a little bit difficult for us to get the tablets. The president himself called his colleague, the Kenyan president, and not too long after that, we were able to receive the 20,000 tablets and 20,000 power banks from Kenya. Thank you, Mr. President. We are grateful to the Honorable Dr. Francis Kaikai and his Ministry of Planning and Economic Development, who really provided lots of support to us. Thank you very much. And we had earlier on enjoyed the support from his predecessor, Minister Nabila Tunis, with whom StartSL first presented the concept of the midterm census to the President. The former Minister of Finance, who is now the Chief Minister, Honorable Jacob Yusuf Safar, and the current Minister, Honorable Dennis K. Vandi, and his team deserve our recognition and thanks for making this national activity work. We did not underestimate the pressure and difficult circumstances in which they operated. The Ministry of Finance has shown to us that the generation of credible data for national development is equally an important national activity that deserves to be funded with public money. We are equally thankful, as I said earlier on, to the Honorable Musa Fofana, the chairman of the Subcommittee of Economic Development, and his team. They actually ensured that StartSL remained accountable throughout the process of the midterm census. And the committee was also part of the nationwide evaluation process, the monitoring process. And when we had issues with some of the districts of refusals, the committee was willing to engage. Thank you to the committee. And I would want to thank the various committees that we established, the council, the technical committee, were already introduced here, the publicity committee, and the advisory committee. You may wish to know that the advisory committee comprised all political parties. And it was only yesterday that we had a meeting here at StartSL where the APC, NGC, and many other parties really came and took part in our discussion. So to me, as you see me, Sierra Leone is first. and it's about this nation. To our field staff out there, the enumerators, the supervisors, the IT and data quality teams, etc. Thank you. I wish you could look at me in the eye and see how sincere I am to thank you for this work that you've done for this country. Thank you, thank you, thank you. And I want to thank you especially for your patience when it came to paying your field allowances, because the government did not calculate this, did not plan to have this responsibility. That is why it delayed a bit. You have expressed nationalism. I know that some of you really lost it at some point, and there were lots of names were called, who were abused and all this. Don't worry. Next time you see me, just say Malam O. I will still thank you for what you've done for this country. Thank you. But we will do our best to ensure that every little cent that you've earned will be paid to you. You have done the best you could for the country. But you should be proud that you contributed to the first ever digital census this country has had. And the reason why we're even more grateful to you, you did not have the chance this time to go somewhere and just do whatever you wanted to do. The digital technology we used forced you, but I wouldn't want to use force, encouraged you to go to those terrains that other people wouldn't have gone to. Because we embedded in those tablets some coordinates, some kind of a DNA thing. So wherever you went, if we had asked you to go to Warima, or if we asked you to go to Mongo, you would have to go to Mongo. That is what we did. So that is the beauty of this digital technology. Chiefdom authorities have to be thanked. They did extremely well. The paramount chiefs, we involved paramount chiefs and section chiefs and all other leaders, and they listened to us and they helped us to do this work together. And so if we can stand here today to talk about, to announce the results of the census, we have to be grateful to them. But of course, we had the National Action for Civic Education and Development, NACID, that really went out of the way to support Start SL, to bring these tribal or ethnic group leaders together, and we had a good discussion, and we saw what happened, especially in the Western area, when we had lots of resistance in the Western area, rural in particular. And after the discussion we had with those leaders, people called us to go to their homes to count them. I want to similarly thank the Institute for Governance Reform, the IGR, which did something very similar for us, and this was to have a discussion with the CSOs. Yesterday, during the meeting, someone was saying he was in a meeting with 400 CSOs, and some of them were saying they did not count them or they did not talk to them. I said, excuse me, sir, IGR organized, and we also had that number that you have mentioned. We had a meeting. IGR organized that, and most of the critical CSOs in this country were present. And I presented to them the concept, and there was real understanding. And I want to thank you for the support that you provided. The security forces must be thanked. They played a role you must have heard, and some of you wrote about some instances, unfortunate instances in some districts, but then we had the security forces playing a role. And they ensured that we were able to conduct the census unhindered, despite some of those unfortunate circumstances. the media. I think we can't say that enough. And sometimes I find it difficult to cross the line. I mean, to know where the line is between myself as SG and between you guys as journalists. And when I write, you see mostly the journalist thing in me, and forget even about the statistics. So you are critical. I know what you can do. And this is the reason why we will always want to engage you. You are a critical component. We can't do statistics without having the media understanding what we do so that you can pass on the information to the public. And so just recently we had a meeting, we had a grant from Paris 21 where we trained a good number of journalists how to understand statistics and just write about it. And we also trained our statisticians to do a little bit about how the media reports. But of course, we can't get those taglines that you write. You know, your titles or your headlines are special. We still would learn how to do them. But ladies and gentlemen, I want to reserve this position now, this space, to thank my indefatigable and visionary Statistics Council, headed by the chairman here, Mr. Moses L.J. Williams Molojo. This is one of, I have served on several boards, and where I have supervised a CEO, but I have been supervised also several times. But I really feel blessed to be really on this board. Thank you so much. Thank you. We appreciate you. But again, I think I've decided here to let you know the composition of this council, because then you need to really understand that it's not just 1 or 2, 3 people who sit around to support, to guide the activities of statistics in this country. We have members, 5 members nominated by the Minister of Planning and Economic Development, 1 each from the Northwestern region, Northeastern region, Southern region, Eastern region, and the Western area. That's important to know. But then beyond that, you have representatives from the Vice Chancellors of the University of Sierra Leone and Jala University, the Governor Bank of Sierra Leone, the President's Chamber of Commerce and Industry and Agriculture, the Development Secretary, the Financial Secretary, the Commissioner of Labor, the Resident Representative United Nations Development Program, the President, Sierra Leone Association of Journalists, and myself, for now, the Statistician General, who is the Secretary to the Council. So if you have all of these people sitting on the board, on the Council, then you should know that that's real business is being done there. Now, I have thanked my people. I now have to thank the others, the international partners. Special thanks to all of you. My colleagues have mentioned the World Bank several times, but I should also indicate that I negotiated with the bank. The grant that was going to come to Start SL did not have anything about the census. Okay, I defended, I explained to the bank why it was important, and remember, it was in 2018. Remember, we need to set the stage. It was late 2018, we had a discussion with the bank, and the bank found it important, necessary to support us, to support this activity. So extremely important, and so that's why we must thank the bank, the World Bank, for supporting this. But I believe that the bank wouldn't have agreed to support the census, the midterm census, if they didn't see the need for it. And remember, it was in 2018, not too long after I became the SG. So the reason was that, and my colleagues probably had said a little bit of it already, that I came from outside with a desire to transform the statistical landscape of my country. to contribute to really doing cutting-edge statistics. We as Sierra Leoneans, we are capable. We go outside and people talk about us. So let us come back to our country and do the best we can. And this is why I came back. And so I found the team and I found the council that gave me the support. And so with the engagements with the bank, and the bank, we keep saying, when the bank takes a decision, we praise them. So that we should praise the bank for supporting the midterm census. Can we give them a hand, please? So if the bank then decided not to continue, well, there could be a reason for it, okay? And so, unfortunately, we have a government in place. I would have been sacked, by the way. So why was I not sacked? Probably, did you give a thought to that? Why was I not sacked? I would have resigned myself if I knew I had caused the problem, and I knew I was not responsible for the problem, and I knew the institution was not responsible for the problem. And so, why did the bank stop? Probably there's a discussion. The bank is very critical in any development, low-income country like this. So we'll continue to engage the bank to see a reason why we should continue. Now that we have, as you see, we have had other international partners, UNICEF, UNFPA, and the others on board. We thank you for staying on. And so there could be a time when probably we will all celebrate the bank coming back to support our activity. Mr. Chairman, ladies and gentlemen, this is important to note that we at StarterCell gave the opportunity to every citizen and other nationals in this country to be counted, so long as they slept in Sierra Leone on census night. We went to the extent of announcing an official extension of the 14-day, you remember? And we gave a mop-up period, and we extended the mop-up, and then what did we do? The winding down. We even said, because we wanted people to really exercise their civic responsibility, their civic rights, and to be counted. We were not going to ask you to give us anything. We were not going to ask you to give us money. We were just going to ask you to tell us your name, sector, all these small, small things. And we say that information, when we put it together, then it is going to be planning for you yourself. So, although there was another group that was saying, don't go and be counted. Don't allow yourselves to be counted. The people of Sierra Leone, reason prevailed. And then they said, oh no, we have to be counted. And I am extremely grateful to the people of Sierra Leone who allowed themselves to be counted. They called us, we opened up a toll-free number, and they were calling us. So we'll tell them, but we went there and you guys drove us. So no, please come. Come and count us. And people got counted. We are proud today that because of these people, we are here to give you the results of that counting. I will end by, I see no reason why I should thank my staff any longer. Deputy and the other directors, they've all been thanked. So you guys, why do I thank you again? Take what you have been given, okay? All right, so thank you all for what you've done. Thank you. I need to set now the stage for the people of this country. There are a few things that we need to understand. Just a few. Why did we have to go to the field? That I have explained. Is that? I explained that 1,000 times already. And I think you know. It is, so you can imagine when I came they said, well, Malamo is coming. Malamo has done this in Ghana, in Asia, and all of that. Now he's coming as the data sharing prophet. Even my doctorate, my topic, if I tell you the topic of my doctorate degree in Germany, you will say, oh my God, no, why? because I had to do it in Germany. I came to my country to have data so that I could analyze the data in this country. I could not get that data at all. So I had to go back, and then I made use of the data from the Schwarzwald. Do you know what that means? The Black Forests of Germany. That's what I used to analyze. Why couldn't I have analyzed the data from TY Ireland or from somewhere else in my country? But anyways, so my mission was go back to your country, and not because you did not get data for your own, make sure that data would always be available for any Sierra Leoneans outside or in this country so that they can analyze and have their masters and have their PhDs and all this. That's what I wanted to do. But my first challenge was, now it was not possible because of what I saw, what I found. And I said, no. For us to wait for another 6, 7, almost 10 years until 2025 to have another census, it would be really problematic. Some of you have children, I believe, and you should know when a child is born today, the child cannot even say anything. You look at the angel and you see the angel doing all sorts of things. You decide for the angel. 10 years down the line, can you tell me what your child can say? You want your child to go to a friend A, the child cannot say, no, Papa, me, I know the good you. I want to go to Dami Paddy. What it means is that 10 years down the line, the child now has, okay, enough knowledge, sense, and capability to do something. So why did we have to wait until 2025 when we could solve the problem? Why did we have to wait? Would you have waited? You shouldn't, man. And this is a time when we also have the opportunity to use digital methodology to solve the problem that we had identified. And that's why we did it. And we're extremely happy that we had a council that we convinced, and we had the Ministry of Planning, we had the presidency, and we had the World Bank that stood behind us for us to move forward. So, ladies and gentlemen, but also, just again to set the record straight, if the challenge that we saw, the problem that we saw in the 2015 data, was just secluded in one area of the country, let us say in the northwestern parts of the country, and then came Stat SL to say we needed the census, then you would say something must be wrong. Okay? Why don't you just go to the northwest and do your recounting there and then stop? But the issue, the challenge we found was spread across the country and mostly in all rural areas. So if you are going to solve a problem in one place, then you would really have to go and move across the country to do that. So this was the reason why we wanted to do it. And also in terms of our capabilities here, the DSG already mentioned that we have in-house the capacity to really train people. So if anyone told you that we did not train our enumerators adequately to go to the field, do not say the person is not telling the truth. Just say, but StatSL did the mix for UNICEF in 2017. We did the SLEAS, the Living Standards Survey in 2018 with tablets. We trained thousands of people, and we also trained, not too long ago in 2019, we trained Sierra Leoneans to conduct the DHS, the Demographic and Health Surveys. So before now, we already could train Sierra Leoneans, and we knew the number of days we would take to do all of this. So that's what we did. And today, guys, Sierra Leone can boast of having conducted a digital census that other African countries are now vying to do. Nigeria has just announced that it will conduct a digital census. Liberia is working on that. So our Sierra Leoneans, men and women who we have trained to do this, some of them are not happy with the payments of their allowances now. But I tell you, in the near future, they would really be boast of the assets that we've given them. Ladies and gentlemen, I want to emphasize that this issue of data that we have done, most time when you are unable to provide the data that you wanted to give and you felt really bad about it, but today the results of our digital cartography and digital enumeration will provide the answers. StartSL is proud to announce that we will henceforth be able to provide locality, ward, section, chiefdom, district, regional level population data. So whatever level of data you want, we will provide that. And that is what we wanted to do in the first place. My colleagues have already explained to you how we add all these international consultants, and now we have a solid base, a reliable sampling frame to support all important socio-economic surveys for local and national development planning purposes. I should also now, because when I announce the results later on, and when you go and do your analysis, I want to help you, I want to guide you in your analysis. For today, we are not going to make any analysis ourselves. We will just give you what we have counted. Okay? Because we know that you are capable yourself. We'll give you the data as we have counted, and then go and analyze. But let me assist you a little bit as you analyze the data. There is a concept of a de facto population. A de facto population, that is, you are counted where you slept, not where you, it doesn't necessarily mean you must have been a permanent resident there. Is that clear? It's where you slept. So think about it as you analyze the data that we are going to show you today. Where you slept. So the census night, is it important? The census night is important. So in fact, what we at StartSL call this the phenomenon of the influential one-night in-country census migration. Okay? That's how we call it. The phenomenon of the one night, the influential one night in-country migration. What does that mean? You must have heard, and some of you journalists must have also written about people canvassing their communities who are their members who are in Freetown to please go to Arima and sleep there. Go to Kailaon, go to Mongo, go to Cambia and all of this. You know the reason. To be counted at the place where you were born. For what reason? You want the numbers to be there. Is that not? You want the numbers. You want to say that, wait a minute. If my community has 1,000 people, then governments, look at this gentleman here, the planning director, you know, the development secretary has this
You know say plenty people no get for votes the time for election. Not because they no want for vote, but now because of this simple mistake where I can't tell you what so, now go make plenty people no vote. Right now, as the Electoral Commission Salon don't pull the date for votes and for register, plenty people just the yagba and they rush go do things them as then they tell them for do. But hey, members say registration, the voter registration, they begin from the 3rd of September to the 4th of October 2022. Then a number one step we go give you guarantee say you go vote. But if you make mistake during this time, you no go for vote. And I think this way person no go able for help people. What in this mean? It means say no ever register na the area where you dey work, do business, or where you dey go school. You know what it make? You don't know. Sometimes the time for the election, then go say public transport not for run. This na big challenge for you. Remember, if you tap na Kalbaton and then you dey work na Lomley, how you go able for go and vote na that side? You go able for waka? The answer na no. So, no make that mistake dey. As them blow the whistle when they say, hey, today na the 3rd of September for begin the voter registration. Do ya try by all possible means for register na the center where they near you house. So the day when they go say for voting, whether mutuka deal, mutuka not deal, not to you business. You dey go serve na morning, vote, return back na you house. So you see, if you make this mistake, the possibility go they say you no go vote 2023. So waiting at this yagba now for say me party go continue for then na power or me party go return na power if I not able for vote. You want vote, they change the whole situation. You know say plenty people no get for vote the time for election. Not because they no want for vote, but now because of this simple mistake where I can't tell you what so, now go make plenty people no vote. Right now, as the Electoral Commission Salon don't pull the date for votes and for register, plenty people just the yagba and they rush go do things them as then they tell them for do. But hey, members say registration, the voter registration, they begin from the 3rd of September to the 4th of October 2022. Then a number one step we go give you guarantee say you go vote. But if you make mistake during this time, you no go for vote. And I think this way person no go able for help people. What in this mean? It means say no ever register na the area where you dey work, do business, or where you dey go school. You know what it make? You don't know. Sometimes the time for the election, then go say public transport not for run. This na big challenge for you. Remember, if you tap na Kalbaton and then you dey work na Lomley, how you go able for go and vote na that side? You go able for waka? The answer na no. So, no make that mistake dey. As them blow the whistle when they say, hey, today na the 3rd of September for begin the voter registration. Do ya try by all possible means for register na the center where they near you house. So the day when they go say for voting, whether mutuka deal, mutuka not deal, not to you business. You dey go serve na morning, vote, return back na you house. So you see, if you make this mistake, the possibility go they say you no go vote 2023. So waiting at this yagba now for say me party go continue for then na power or me party go return na power if I not able for vote. You want vote, they change the whole situation. You know say plenty people no get for vote the time for election. Not because they no want for vote, but now because of this simple mistake where I can't tell you what so, now go make plenty people no vote. Right now, as the Electoral Commission Salon don't pull the date for votes and for register, plenty people just dey yagba and they rush go do things them as dem dey tell them for do. But hey, remember say registration, the voter registration, they begin from the 3rd of September to the 4th of October 2022. That then na number 1 step wey go give you guarantee say you go vote. But if you make mistake during this term, you no go go for vote. And I think this way person no go able for help you pan. Wetin this mean? It means say no ever register na the area where you dey work, do business, or where you dey go school. You know wetin make? You don't know. Sometimes the term for the election, then go say public transport not for run. This na big challenge for you. Remember, if you tap na Kalbaton and then you dey work na Lumley, how you go able for go and vote na that side? You go able for waka? The answer na no. So, no make that mistake dey. As them blow the whistle, when they say, hey, today na the 3rd of September for begin the voter registration. Do ya try by all possible means for register na the center where they near you house. So the day when they go say for voting, whether Mutuka deal, Mutuka not deal, not to your business. You dey go serve full na morning, vote, return back na your house. So you see, if you make this mistake, the possibility go dey say you no go vote 2023. So wetin na this yagba now? For say me party go continue for then na power, or me party go return na power if I not able for vote. You want vote, they change the whole situation.
Today, Dofa, we come na grafting camp. This now one of the places them where most of the old people where we can see they beg on the street, especially along Kisi Road. Most of them are this particular place who are they so today now here they reside. But most of them, the places them who side they when are they shelter, a very day in a bad condition. See this now some of the places look, you know, like the kitchen, where it's rain can, we go wash everything away. Look at the block. Where they touch ourselves, you see, it's something I can. So you see this is another place. When our old people, this the person even able to come inside because everything don't be disjointed. See the place? So this old person are in there without a house because he not able to get side for stay. Because look at how the place stay. When again been come the last time, wash everything away, all the place don't full with dirty and everything.
You couldn't make me now say forever. Look at the foot there. You see, man, please swear. And look no more the thing no pull and another can't choke na papa na kai so I not to think for shame. When I see I know the other room all will be no way didn't do and back come back now and how they choke them me picking them me picking the old mama they really suffer. But when you can't meet me as you don't know not all myself at the brinker and no get like say for Casido. Leader like me people like the kind this shameless now I kill me. I tell Miss K, I say Miss K, I know the guy chance, I go begin like saying that this the one I say, but if you not help me, Miss K, I say me I don't disgrace. When I say let them go to chief fair, I tell God to take me to my then come meet me this hour, they live like so, not go fight for me, Mama, do you help me? For God, I never do that.
So this is the room. Up aside, no form safe. Form not they fall down. Please, when I see, aside do not even get a foam, fall down. Aside do they don't matter. At the age, now matter they lay down for sleep. It just make the cement and look at the floor, nothing. This now outside aside in picking and they sleep. Aside do not get foam, so the picking and self is the same thing. Then just lay down and just they don't even get matter and just like bags them. Now they picking and they lay down.
Me have been driver 20 years and I know drive now, so I sit down. I have to do kill I go make a big out for it.
Okay, this is the
veranda. Yes, I cover this toilet because the toilet and the two window the veranda. This is the thing. This change anymore. Yeah.
Grass mattress.
I left in that way. The three about them don't die. They left two people. The one not rich or woman business. The one about the second one, you're picking the 2 months. The other one 2 months, this even the grip in Papa die. And the rapper in Papa die. Now, so far, no more. They buy even for food, they for take care of the chance, no day. At times, I go for small picking there, they give you something for medical eat to me. What do I deserve? Where is that? They tell you.
Give you a table, give you the table. Okay, we printed it, so I wanted us to go a little bit, becoming a little bit warm. Yeah? Okay. So Kenema district has a total population of 772,472 with 374,183 males and 398,298 males. Connaught district has a population of 620,703 with 311,832 males and 308,871 females. Now we move to the northeastern region. Okay, northeastern region. Bombale district has a population of 387,236 with 186,824 males and 200,412 females. Falabat district, also in the northeast, total population of 166,205 with 83,622 males and 82,583 females. Kwenadugu district has a population of 206,133 with 102,364 males and 103,796 females. 769, females. Tonkolili district has a population of 557,257 with 282,127 males and 275,130 females. For the northwestern region, Gambia district has a population of 367,699 and 188,560 males and 179,139 females. Karine district, the population of 290,313 with 147,124 males and 143,189 females. Botloko district has a population of 528,038 with 253,790 males and 274,248 females. Now we move to the south of the region, where you have Bo, Bond, Moyamba, and Bujang. The Bo district has a population of 756,975 with 366,346 males and 390,629 females. Bond has a population of 297,561 with 149,555 males and 148,006 females. Moyamba district has a population of 346,771 with 167,836 males and 178,935 females. Bujang district has a population of 429,574 with 213,242 males and 216,332 females. Now we come to the western area. The western area rural has a population of 662,056 with 331,334 males and 330,722 females. The western area urban has a population of 606,701 with 289,938 males and 316,763 females. Mr. Chairman, ladies and gentlemen, when we talk about the totals now here, the Eastern region has a total population of 1,939,122, with 953,601 males and 985,521 females. The Northeastern region has a total population of 1,316,831, with 654,937 males and 661,894 females. The Northwestern region has a total of 1,186,050, with 589,474 males and 596,576 females. The Southern region has a total population of 1,830,881, with 896,979 males and 933,902 females. So the Western area together has a total population of 1,268,757 males and 1,268,757, with 621,272 males and 647,485 females. Mr. Chairman, ladies and gentlemen, consequently, the population of Sierra Leone from the 2021 midterm population and housing census is 7,541,641. 7,541,641, with 3,716,263 males and 3,825,378 females, making a sex ratio of 0.97 in favor of women. The females. So there are, you may want to note this, there are 109,121 women more than men in Sierra Leone. So there is, so women empowerment, I think it's about time. You have the numbers. Yes. So there is a total increase in the population from 2015 to 2021 of 449,528, which is 6% more than the 2015 population. Mr. Chairman, ladies and gentlemen, I want to emphasize that this population of people who slept in Sierra Leone, hello? You should have waited a little bit, guys. Okay, just wait, it's just a second to go. Okay? And it's just to stress one fact. No. Okay? Okay? Mr. Chairman, ladies and gentlemen, I wish to emphasize that this population is the population of people who slept in Sierra Leone on the census night, in various localities, various chiefdoms, districts, and regions. We have provided a table for you to do your calculations, to do your initial interpretations. But as I said, we will give you more details about the provisional results when we launch the results in a couple of weeks. Thank you very much, Mr. Chairman. God bless you all. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Professor Osman Sanko Malamo. So the results are here. You can see from the screen is 7,541,641, with 3,716,283 males, as opposed to 3,825,378 females. It is now on the board. All right. So, ladies and gentlemen, this is how we bring the curtains down. So this program, we want to thank everybody that came here, particularly our colleagues from the media. We thank you so much. We want to thank the representatives from the United Nations and all the agencies, the MDAs, and the entire management staff. Thank you very much. God bless you. This is how we end.
Today, Dofa, we come na grafting camp. This now one of the places them where most of the old people where we can see they bigger on the street, especially along Kisi Road. Most of them are this particular place who are they so today now here they reside. But most of them, the places them who side they when are they shelter, a very day in a bad condition. See this now some of the places look, you know, like the kitchen, where it rain can, we go wash everything away. Look at the block. Where you touch ourselves, you see, it's something I can. So you see this is another place. When our old people, this the person even able to come inside because everything don't be disjointed. See the place? So this old person are in there without a house because you not able to get side for stay. Because look at how the place stay. When we come the last time, wash everything away, all the place don't full with dirty and everything.
You couldn't make me now say for I got that very good. Look at the foot there. You see, man, please swear. And look no more the thing of Pulian, another can't choke now, Papa, and I can't say not to tea for shame. When I see I know the other room all will be no way didn't do and back now, and I would choke them, picking and then picking the old mama, they really suffer. But when you can't meet me as you don't know, not all myself at the brinker, and no get like I say for Cassido. Leader like me, people like the cat is not shameless now, now you want to kill me. I tell Miss K, I say Miss K, I know the guy chance, I go begin like saying that this the money, I say, but if you don't help me, Miss K, I say, me, I don't disgrace. When I say let them go to chief fair, I tell God to take me to my, then come meet me this hour, they live like so, you know, go fight for me, Mama, do you help me? For God, I never do ya.
So this is not the room. Upside, no form safe. Form not they fall down. Please, when I see, Pasai do not even get a foam for lay down. Pasai do the lay down a matter. At the age, now matter they lay down for sleep. They just make the cement and look at the floor, nothing. This now outside Pasai in Pekin and they sleep. Pasai do not get foam, so the Pekin and self is the same thing. Then just lay down and they don't even get matter, and just like bags them. Now they Pekin and they lay down.
Me have been driver 20 years and I know driving na so I sit down. I have to go kill I go make a big out for it.
Okay, this is the veranda.
Yes, I cover this toilet because the toilet and the two window the veranda this is it the thing. This children the morning. It's here.
Grass mattress.
And everything that me three about them don't die. They left two people, the one not rich or woman business. The water about the second one, you're picking the 2 months. The other one 2 months, this even the grip in Papa die. And the little rapper in Papa die. Now suffer no more. They buy even for food, they for take of the chance no day. At times I go for small picking there, they give you something for me they can eat to me. God what they serve. Where is that they tell you so it's not easy for me.
This again another place where it really in a bad condition when our aged also stay inside this particular place. So we kindly calling on every Sierra Leoneans. You were there into construction. You get shop where they sell building materials. We they appeal to everybody for come on board. Let we do something for them. We all people here. So because at this stage now we they need. So please, 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 nothing is small. You get cement, you get zinc, you get whatever therefore do towards this them building there so logo make and good. We even need mattresses then because you see some of them they outside and they sleep. So one of them they don't matter at that age, old person at that age, you know get a phone for lidom, they don't have the matter for lidom, even a picking them all where they look up to them because as an elderly person, and they will go again go fair them unless they go on streets or go bigger. But with all the bigger, then they go bigger. And able for make them place the same. So they kindly ask on people. I know we have Soyat people, then we they call on the churches them, we they call on the mosques, we they call on institutions them, we they call on individuals them in and out of salon. Let we do something for them with people there so we hold people them. Remember say we serve for reach their age and old age now something we can always say old is age, but this kind of old age is very sad for them when they never forget better side for them with all the contribution they don't make in society. At this age now they need to support them because the rains not the fly again. Very soon rains will come. We see few days ago we see every winds they blow, where the show say this year we likely forget more rains than previous years. So please let old people them not go there we wake one morning we read and say thousands of them we don't lost them because of every downpour. So please come on board and support we let we give back to the old people there. So